Hello, and thank you for joining me on how to build an ePortfolio. This is Maria Rutherford from Bluegrass Community and Technical College. To get started, I'd like for you to actually click on some examples of ePortfolios that I have found. The first one is from the University of Iowa, and it is a very simple portfolio. In that portfolio, you will see the simplicity of how an ePortfolio can be made or created. The second is by a President Michael Bies, and in this article he begins to talk to us about ePortfolios and how we can create those and how best to create those which they will be beneficial to us as educational leaders. So please take a few minutes and click on these websites to gain some information before you get started. Now, where to begin? First of all, you need to gather some documents. Gather your resume along with your credentials. Write a cover letter which explains what type of job that you are looking for or position. For instance, if you're looking to be a college president, then you would need to write a cover letter that is based upon that job. Or you may be looking just to be a supervisor. So write your cover letter to embrace the position that you are looking for. Within this Leadership Academy, you have been given certain assignments, your leadership reflective statements, and that's where you will place them in your ePortfolio. As a staff member or a faculty member, oftentimes you have presentations in which you have presented. They may be in the form of PowerPoints. Some ePortfolios embrace presentations, so you might want to choose that. Also, in your practice as a staff member or faculty, you may have service inside the college or outside the college. This is a place for practice and service that gives you the opportunity to showcase the things that you do. And the last thing you need to gather is your professional picture. And remember, professional pictures are not pictures with animals or certain kinds of backgrounds. So make sure that you look into what is considered a professional picture. Step 2, let's decide on your headings. I would suggest that you take time to actually lay your portfolio out on a piece of paper. First of all, what do you want your layout to look like? Remember, I gave you some examples for you to go look at, and I said simplicity oftentimes is the best. So in the layout that you saw, the headings were across the top view. Sometimes people put their headings down to the side view, on the left hand or the right hand side. So it depends on what you like. Decide which layout you would like. Next, you need to decide on a logo. What is your logo for leadership? After you make that decision, decide which picture you're going to use on your portfolio. And then create an organization of the way you're going to do your pages. How are you going to lay your pages out based upon your side buttons or your top buttons? Step 3, you need to log into eCommunity. And again, we're going to our home page for Leadership Academy, and we're going to click on ePortfolio. Step 4, we actually begin construction. Do you see where it says My Portfolios? You are going to click on My Portfolios. Now you're ready to create your portfolio. See where it says Create Personal Portfolio? Click on that button. Notice that there can be more than one portfolio in your base. You can have up to 5, even 10 portfolios that you're working on within this system. Next, we're going to add properties. First, we're going to click on Create New because we're actually creating a new portfolio. And second of all, we're going to create a title. So type your title in the box. A title could be Maria Rutherford Leadership Academy 2012-2013. After I decide on my title, I'm going to click Save and Continue. Next, I'm going to choose my style. Remember the layout that I asked you to think about? Do you want your buttons to be down the side, the right-hand side, the left-hand side, or across the top? You actually have 4 layout choices. You choose and move on to step 2. Step 2, we're going to choose our background color. If you click on the little arrow where it says white, you will have many colors to choose from. Choose the color that you think is appropriate for your ePortfolio. Then go to Font Settings. Font Settings, you're going to choose your font, the degree, and the color of your font. Next, we need to decide whether we are going to hide the font settings or not hide them. You make that choice. And then move on to step 4. In step 4, we're going to choose our menu type. Now here you can either decide whether you're going to just have text, and you see the text where it says Menu Item 1, or you're going to have buttons. If you click on buttons, you can decide if you want buttons with round edges, square edges, if you want solid buttons, or buttons with a design. You can even choose the color of your button. Now remember, you can play around with this because at any point you can edit any of this. Okay? Next, we're going to mark in progress until we're totally complete with our ePortfolio. So always make sure that you mark step as in progress. And finally, click Save and Continue. Now we're ready to build. Think about your header. What do you want it to say? Click here to add a header. And yes, you do want a header, and you probably do want a footer. We're going to add a header. You can type a header or insert a JPEG here, as well as using the insert button icon. We can add pages, and we can add more pages because remember, you have buttons down the side. Those are considered pages on your ePortfolio. So hit Save and Continue. Here is what you'll create. you will name your pages. This is my portfolio for President's Leadership Seminar through KCTCS. You see my header, Building Tomorrow's Future, Maria C. Rutherford, author, creator, creative, entrepreneur, integrity, intuitive, innovative, and pioneer. Those are words that describe me. Now that is considered a banner. I created that in Publisher and turned it into a JPEG and uploaded it in there. This was the first page I created as a header. Then I created another page and another button. I called that my introduction. The third page I created was my leadership philosophy. The fourth page was leadership experience. Leadership in action was my fifth page. My sixth page was leadership reflections. Seventh, leadership development. And then my footer, which gave my phone number and my email address, as well as the President's Leadership Seminar logo. And again, the footer was created in Publisher and then saved as a JPEG and then uploaded in here. The next thing you will do is click Save and Continue. Now to add items into each one of those pages. Well, once you've created all of your pages and you have them in the order that you want, you go to that page and you select a new archive, or you're going to create an archive. So for every one of those documents that I have listed under Leadership Reflections, I have created a new artifact. When I create that new artifact, I'm going to name it. You can write a description, but it is not required, and it will not show even if you do write a description. Then in the content, you can use the icons to add your items. If you want to just see a paragraph, or you can actually just upload an attachment or a picture and then click Submit. Once you've added all your content, you can go back and edit pages. You can move items. You can recreate the entire portfolio all over again. How does that happen? Well, here we go. If we go back to the page where we can see our buttons or our pages that we've created, and we click on the little arrow right next to Leadership Reflections, right out there to the right, there's a little arrow that will drop down and will say Edit. Click it. Now you are in Edit. As you can see from the page that I'm showing you, you are in Edit. You can move items up and down. You can delete items. You can add items. If you look there on your page, you will see the word Browse with those arrows up and down. If you touch those arrows, that's where you can move items up or down. If you click in the box under Delete and hit Submit, it will delete the items. If you want to add, then you go back and do exactly the way we said previously. Now when you add a header or a footer, do just exactly what I ask you to do. You can either do it in Publisher and save it as a JPEG and copy and paste it right in there. Or you can write your own header out by using the Word document icons that you see, and then hit save and continue. The next step you'll see is to keep your portfolio as in progress. Again, what I asked you to do a few minutes ago, and hit submit. You want to know what your portfolio looks like now? This is the page that you'll see next. And you click here to view your creation. It says view your portfolio. And boom, there's your portfolio. And once you see your portfolio and you feel like you want to change something, then you go back into edit mode. Or you want to add something, then you add or delete. You can edit and edit and edit. Once you are totally finished with your ePortfolio, you can publish it by clicking on the buttons that say publish. And then you can share it. You can share it with whoever you would like to. You can make it private or you can make it open. Here are some suggestions that I would say to you in building your portfolio. First of all, be creative. Make it you, but keep it very professional. I hope this presentation has helped you in building your ePortfolio for Leadership Academy. Have a wonderful day.